Hey everybody, I'm CrazyCat42 and welcome to Trivia Time. Today on Trivia Time, we're going to be talking about The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, which released for the Nintendo 64 in the year 2000. I'll also be talking about its 3DS remake that was released in 2015. So without further ado, let's get on with the show. After the release of Ocarina of Time, Shigeru Miyamoto was planning to release another version of the game for the Nintendo 64 DD with remade dungeons. However, Eiji Aonuma did not like the idea of remaking the same dungeons, so he secretly started working on new ones instead. After asking Miyamoto if he could make a new game, he replied that he could do it as long as it was made in 1 year. While thinking up ideas for the game, Aonuma met Yoshiaki Koizumi, who proposed a system of time passing where the same moments would be played over and over again. Thus, the 3-day system was created. However, an entire week was originally planned, but was later shortened to only 3 days to make it easy to remember the character schedules. During development of Ocarina of Time, some ideas were not fully utilized, including the use of masks, so Aonuma decided to further expand this concept in Majora's Mask. Originally, when learning abilities from the Great Fairies, there was originally supposed to be special cutscenes showing the Great Fairy teaching Link these abilities, but these are cut from the final game. This concept would later be reused in Twilight Princess with the Hero Shade teaching Link new abilities during the game. Tail and Leaf from Phantom Hourglass are the only male fairies in the entire Legend of Zelda series. The Happy Mask Salesman's piano in Majora's Mask is often mistaken for an organ because the instrument has a very large soundboard and a triple manual keyboard. Organs, however, usually have 2 or more keyboards, and the vertical soundboard can be mistaken for pipe registers. The Happy Mask Salesman also has a total of 9 masks on his backpack, one of which bears a striking resemblance to Mario. There was an error in the Great Fairy's names in the North American version of Majora's Mask. The Great Fairy found a Snowhead Temple introduces herself as the Great Fairy of Wisdom, and then the Great Fairy of Courage on subsequent visits. Likewise, the Great Fairy near the Great Bay Coast says she is the Great Fairy of Courage, and then the Great Fairy of Wisdom. This is not present in the Japanese or European versions of the game, in which Snowhead's Great Fairy is the Great Fairy of Wisdom, and Great Bay's Great Fairy is the Great Fairy of Courage. Don Garou, leader of the Frog Choir, may have been inspired by a Mamu from Link's Awakening, who is also leader of a Frog Choir. According to Shigeru Miyamoto, the hand of the toilet's appearance and origin is based on Japanese horror stories of a hand coming out of a toilet. An image of a tiger can be seen on the backside of the wheelchair belonging to Andrew's grandmother. This could be referenced to the pet tiger cub belonging to her Ocarina of Time counterpart. Kafei is the first playable character in a main series Zelda game to not be Link. Unlike most Gorons, Link the Goron will not be put to sleep by Goron's lullaby. The Bean Seller has the kanji for bean tattooed onto his left arm. Darmani has a scar on his stomach that is not featured on Goron Link, however it is visible on the statue left behind when Link plays the Elegy of Emptiness as a Goron. This may be a battle scar, or perhaps the wound from when he fell to his death. There is a typo on the Nintendo 64 version of Majora's Mask when Cremia gives Link a hug. Ego's Duokana and his lackeys are the only enemies in Majora's Mask that require light to be shone on them, but are immune to light arrows. If Twin Mold is defeated without Link having interacted with Pamela, her father's curse will lift on its own. Should Link enter the house and talk to her after this, Pamela will kick Link out regardless of his current form. Her father does not display the same hostility, however, behaving as he usually does after being healed. Hacking into Majora's Mask 3D files reveals that the face model used for the Moon Children is that of the Happy Mask Salesman. In the original 64 version of the game, their faces had no texture. During his battle with Link, Aldol will chant various Mayan phrases, including Twin Mold seems to be based on the Lamola boss fight from A Link to the Past, with both bosses having similar designs and both fights taking place in desert arenas. Before the battle with the Garo Master in Stone Tower Temple, it jumps down for a hole in the ceiling. This hole is the same hole in which Link jumps into to face Twin Mold while the temple is inverted. Bubbles will drop different items depending on how they are defeated. They normally drop 3 hearts. If they are defeated with a fire arrow, they will drop a bundle of 20 arrows. If defeated with a melee attack, they drop 3 green rupees. If defeated with a light arrow, they will drop a purple rupee. In Animal Crossing U-Leaf, Gulliver can make a reference to Pinnacle Rock and the deep pythons who live there. Zora Link's Guitar of Waves greatly resembles a Desbrecco and may have been crafted from one. The design of the ghosts that attack Romani Ranch closely resembled the description of the Flatwoods Monster, an alleged extraterrestrial, who was described as a luminous 3.5-foot tall being with an oversized head, big floppy pointed ears, glowing eyes, and hands with talons at their ends. The figure, either made of or simply dressed in silvery metal, had his hands raised, which also fits the description of the ghosts. In the room where Link is transformed to a Deku for the first time, there's a patch of moving grass. However, Kita cannot be thrown for this grass, most likely because Link cannot return here later in the game. In Clocktown, there's a swordsman school where you can meet the swordsman, who will claim that he can cut the moon in half. However, if you visit the swordsman school during the night of the final day, you can find him in a secret room behind the back shrine, where you'll find him cowering in fear. In the 3DS remake of the game, the furnace and bomb shop resembles a GameCube. Also in the 3DS remake, if you look into the curiosity shop from the back room, you can see a Rob to the right of the counter. Again in the 3DS remake, if you go to the Marine Research Laboratory, you can find a love tester made by Nintendo in 1969 on a table. During the minigames that we played at the Honey and Darling shop, if Link hits Honey and Darling during any of these minigames, they'll tell him to stop and explain how much it hurts. While they do this, the timer is temporarily paused, but repeatedly alternating between hitting them and hitting targets. Link can complete the minigame with many seconds remaining. In the original Nintendo 64 version of the game, the arch at the entrance to Romani Ranch is the same arch from the entrance to Kakariko Village from Ocarina of Time, which, when translated from Japanese, reads, "Welcome to Kakariko Village." This was fixed in the 3DS remake. Similarly, at the Donkey Racetrack, the arch there is the same one from Lon Lon Ranch in Ocarina of Time. Snowhead Temple is the only dungeon in the game to have one mini-boss that's fought twice, instead of having two separate mini-bosses like the other dungeons. Rather than being considered part of the Stone Tower map, the Clock Tower map is required instead to see the map of the Ikana Graveyard. Beneath the well in the Ikana Canyon is home to the game's only regular fairy fountain. A paper airplane can be found on top of one of the pillars outside Ikana Castle. It is unknown why it's here. The original Nintendo 64 version of Majora's Mask used to hold the record for the most bottles in any Zelda game with 6. This record was broken by his 3DS remake, which added in a 7th bottle. In the original Nintendo 64 version, the jingle it plays when Link obtains the notebook is the regular item obtained tune, but in Majora's Mask 3D it is the same tune that plays when Link obtains a mask. The room key will automatically disappear from Link's inventory on the final day. At that point, the Stockpot Inn is left unlocked for the rest of the cycle because all the employees have evacuated. According to the Gossip Stone found in the Cuckoo Shack, the all-night mask was originally a device used for torturing people. There are 5 masks in the game that are known to have duplicates. The Romani mask, which is owned by all the club members of Latte, the Kita mask, which is said to be owned by each member of the Bombers, the Couple's mask, which is the symbol of marriage, the Garros mask, which both of the Gorman brothers own, and the Cafe's mask, which Anju own. The Gossip Stones inside the Spawn Spider House and inside the moon give Link clues on how to obtain the Mask of Truth. However, these clues are only accessible if he already has the mask. Despite the huge focus on masks in the game, only 6 of them are actually required to beat the game. Those are the Deku's mask, the Goron's mask, the Zora's mask, the Gypto's mask, the Garrow's mask, and the Captain's hat. Early in development, an adult Link mask was meant to appear in the game, but was later replaced by the Fierce Deity's mask. This may be due to the fact that Link can now use items that only adult Link could use in Ocarina of Time, rendering the mask useless. In Hyrule Historia, the Majora's Mask section contains concept art of adult Link, confirming that adult Link was meant to appear sometime during development. It is possible to sell the Zora eggs at the Curiosity Shop at 20 rupees apiece. However, selling any eggs will make it impossible to learn the Yue Bossa Nova during that current 3-day cycle. During the very first cycle of the game, time moves 1.66 times faster. Also, no enemies or characters will appear in Termina Field during this cycle. However, this cannot be seen as you're trapped in Clocktown for the first cycle of the game. Majora's Mask has the least amount of dungeons in any Zelda game, with 4. Additionally, every item attained in these dungeons pertains to the bow. Flat, a poem appearing in the Ikana Canyon, mentions that his brother Sharp sold his soul to the devil. This is interesting as that there is no known deity in Zelda who is directly referred to as the devil. It is possible that only Terminians believe in this deity, or he refers to another deity such as Majora. Nonetheless, the devil plays some sort of role in Terminian media. The Wii Virtual Console version of Majora's Mask uses fewer blocks than Ocarina of Time, as data compression for Virtual Console games had been improved since the release of Ocarina of Time on the Wii Virtual Console. However, the Wii Virtual Console release of Majora's Mask uses 3 blocks for save data, which is 3 times the amount of space that the Wii Virtual Console release of Ocarina of Time uses. Well, that's all time for today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time on Trivia Time.